Oh, I didn't bring my notebook up here. Hello and welcome to my podcast. I'm Naomi and this is NJ Knits, where I talk about my knitting. We're doing a special edition American episode today because why not? I have quite a few things to update you on. Firstly, my hair clearly needs an update because it's just going crazy. Let me just adjust the situation. But let's begin with what I'm wearing, because I'm wearing a me-made outfit, girl! So, here it is. This is a pair of shorts that I made last year. Well, maybe last year, maybe 2 years ago. This is a thrifted shirt that already had this slit in it. Because I was not convinced that I would be able to make a slit like that. So I did that, and then I added it to a thrifted bed sheet, which had this cute situation. I have a dress in this thrifted bed sheet. This was the scraps. The shorts clearly don't fit very well. There's some kind of situation here. But they're very comfy. And then, more importantly, this is a Pearl Soho, it's a Pearl Soho pattern. It's, my brain is like flip-flopping because I'm doing this American. I can't remember the name of this pattern. Drawstring camisole. That's what it is. And it has this at the back. I made this a few years ago and it continues to be, of my knitted objects, definitely the most cooling and most wearable for summertime. It goes quite low here, which I really like. I do not like things up in those pits for summer. And I had to fix it because it was way too high at the front. But when I was in Canada, one of the local yarn shop women very kindly told me just cut it, pick it up and refold it and close it, and that's what I did. So yeah, I just cut it. You can see it goes really high at the back, and I think it was basically the same at the front. And it was too much. It was like, So yeah, I have some green tea, iced tea. It's a very odd color. It's like kind of bluish, but it's iced tea, green tea iced tea with bergamot and mango. So I have some finished objects for you. I'm probably gonna have to like step aside costume change because the girl doesn't have a bra on under this. Some finished objects for you to update you on. Okay, so last episode you saw my ripple bralette, and I am pleased to inform you that it is finished. Here it is. It's all blocked. This used pretty much exactly 50 grams of fingering weight yarn. The yarn I used was by Lang Yarns, and it was called... Oh, what was it called? I have to look it up because I've never encountered a yarn like this before. It doesn't repeat. It is it obviously has like a lot of repeating colors, but there's no repeat to the yarn. And I kind of didn't, I was like, oh, maybe it's hard to tell in this kind of garment, but stay tuned because you'll see that certainly it does not repeat. I made the second size in this, and I made it to pattern basically. I used the required needles. I might have actually made the smallest size just because I assumed that my gauge was going to be big. A few things I really, really loved about this pattern. Firstly, was the bind off situation. There is absolutely zero picking up stitches in this. Even in the straps. And also, I really, really love the straps. And I love that Jessie gives you a measurement when the straps are stretched to go for. So I could just stretch it and measure it. And that's obviously with straps, that's kind of what you want. It doesn't really matter what it measures when it's not stretched, because it will be stretched on your body. This looked crazy before it was blocked. It was so tiny. It was like, gink. It was like that big. But it's definitely like, it looks a bit more of a normal size now. It was really awkward when I was making it because people would be like, what are you making? And I'm like, oh, just a little top. They're like, for a baby? And I'm like, for myself. Because it just looks so insanely tiny. I think there's a lot of really, really, really smart details in this. One thing I will say, if you're like me and you're not great at following patterns, do pay attention to where she says to put the beginning of round marker, because I did not, and it actually came back and bit me. Basically, to explain, I'd probably have to give away too much of the pattern, but essentially, just listen, okay? Just listen to when the beginning of round marker is supposed to be placed. Because it makes a difference. I was actually able to just turn the whole thing inside out. And that's why my tail is just peeking out here at the inside. Because I always weave my tails in early and then... But yeah, I mean, that's totally fine. We can just re-peek it to the other side. Yeah, it's like essentially exactly the same inside and out because it's ribbing. So I was able to, because I was like panicking, I was like, I'm gonna have to redo this whole section, which to me is a panic time. Well, actually, no, I would have had to have redone everything, like all of this and all of this section. But no, I could just turn it inside out and then I was in the right place. So yeah, if I explained exactly what was going on, I'd have to like explain to you exactly what the pattern was telling you to do. But the point is, just pay attention to where the beginning round marker is supposed to be and don't just like slap it in there wherever you feel like, halfway up the body, which is what I did. Because I'm always just like, I don't really need a beginning of round marker for a while, and sometimes I don't even use one because it's a bit like, why does it matter? Where is the beginning of round here? We don't know. It's all the same. Like, there's no, like, I'm not like changing colors or doing stripes or something where it matters. Anyway, let me try this on for you, and I think it's a success. We'll have to see. When I was first trying it on, I was like, oh, this is a little scratchy. It's got some recycled fiber in it. I need to look up what the name of this yarn is for you. Okay, so it's Wool Addicts by Lang Yarns Footprints. So it's a fingering weight yarn. So it's called Wool Addicts, and it's by Lang... No, I think it's called Footprints. Yes, the yarn is called Footprints, and it's by Wool Addicts by Lang Yarns. It's 45% cotton, 42% wool, 13% nylon, 437 yards, and 100 grams. So, and I did the colorway 006. Not exactly sure what that is, and it is superwash, the wool. But yeah, it's really interesting because it doesn't repeat. So anyway, let me try this top on for you, and I will show you what it looks like. So she's still a little bit itchy, can report. It is wool. It's a wool summer top, so, you know, that was kind of my bad. But I had this image when I saw the wool of, like, this sort of, like, 90s looking situation. Yeah, but it is still a little bit scratchy. So yeah, it looks cute. I think this is really smart, doing a little bit of different ribbing at the bottom. It's, like, not super noticeable, but I think it works really well. It finishes it off really nicely. And the same at the back. So yeah, I had this sort of image of, like, a fun 90s crop top. And I think that's what it is, but yeah, we'll see if I end up wearing it at all. It is a little bit itchy. And I don't mind that for if it's cooler, but I'm definitely not going to wear this as a summer top, probably. Yeah. Girl doesn't want wool on her body in the summer time when it's hot out. So yeah. Next, I have a finished object of my Moon Crush. And this is a crushing one for me for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I hate it. I don't like it. I don't like how it looks. I don't like how it turned out. And it's mostly my fault because I didn't follow the pattern. But I'm also unconvinced that I would have liked it even with it the right length. So here's the back. And here's the front. It is very cropped. I will go and put it on for you. So I was making this, you know, making along, following the pattern, and I got to here, and it was like, I think I must have got to basically here, and it was like, do 16 more rows, and I was like, girl, I don't think I need 16 more rows. I had looked and I checked and I was like, it's plenty big around under here. If I do 16 more rows, like, they're gonna be down here. Well, it turns out I should have done 16 more rows because once I put on this I-cord, this got, like, much smaller because I think it was down to there. And I was like, no, 16 more rows, no. So I just started the shouldering and I did the shoulder stuff. And I kind of did the same at the back, except I did do, like, I think 8 more rows at the back just because I thought that might help it. But I mean, like, this is, like, not just cropped. This is like a I don't know what this is. It's like, this for me, this is cropped. This is like one of those swimming costumes that's like got a little ruffle underneath the boob. That's what this is. I hate this neckline. I just don't like it. In the So in the design, the picture of the designer wearing it, it looks good. And the picture, I think the other picture of the design, like the other sample, it looks really good. And then there's a lot of testers who this mock neck looks like this on. And I was like, ooh, when I was looking at it, and I was like, but it should be fine. And it does call it a mock turtleneck, to be fair to the pattern. So like, I should have like known that was what this was going for when I entered into this situation. But I was more looking for something like this, but without the, bump, basically. Like I was in for more of a less of a 60s vibe, basically. Just a more of a like a crew situation. Yeah, this is also not doing it for me. This is like too, I don't know what this is, but I don't like that. It's like, I would have wanted it more like this, but not like triple thick, obviously. So yeah, the extra sad thing about this is the yarn is wonderful. It's the same yarn I made the streamers that I gave to my mother. It is called Rowan Summer Light. Highly recommend. Very expensive. I got it in a charity shop. It was very cheap. It was £1 a ball. Got 10 balls. I used them all. I'm really sad that I have no garments in this deliciously soft cotton because it's so lovely. Because this garment is not staying with me. It's gonna go to like a 12-year-old. It's what's gonna happen. It'll be cute on a 12-year-old. Good thing Holly has a lot of nieces. I think probably there's a niece who will like this garment. But that girl's not me. I do not like it. So yeah, really sad about this because I was super excited to make this top and I made it too small for me. It's exactly like the width that I was hoping it to be, like in terms of like a wide crop situation, but it's way too cropped. I tried to block it as long as I possibly could, and I also, even despite the cropped situation, I hate the neckline. So yeah, this is gonna go to a child. How many times, if we were playing, if you watched like, I don't know why you would do this, but if you watched like all of my episodes in like an 8-hour, it wouldn't be 8 hours, but if, let's say some weird way you condensed them all and just like did a drinking game and watched all my episodes and drank every time I gave something I made for myself away to a child, you would be drunk. So yeah, that's the Moon Crush. I mean, I don't know. Is it cute though? Maybe it is cute. Maybe I'm just like, I don't know. I need to like, maybe it is cute. Maybe I'm just overreacting. Maybe, let me get some high-waisted something and have a look. Okay, look, these shorts are basically as high-waisted as they come. Like, they are covering parts of my ribs. And this is still, like, super cropped. I don't know, she still looks like she needs to be given to a child. I don't know, let me know what you think. I'm now confusing myself, but, yeah. Moon Crush tank is finished. It's very soft. I think I hate it. Let me change back into my other top. Actually, no, we're gonna keep this on and see what we think about it. I think I hate it. Okay. Stop messing around, Naomi. It's time to move on to the last finished object, and it is by far the most fabulous finished object. Are you ready for this? Gotta make sure everything's straight, everything's ready to go. It is time. I'm gonna try and keep it out of frame, and then just slowly do the reveal. Hello! Hello! It's a I was holding my breath while I did that reveal. Oh my god, look at this hippo! Look at this hippo! Look at it! Hello! Hello! It's so gigantic. I wanted this hippo, but it's too big for my boat. Like, look at this, like, this hippo takes up the whole couch. We can't be having this. If you put the cushions back on the couch, which are currently holding up the computer, this hippo, that's it. That's all. We don't got space for this guy. What a sad, sad day. So, my gauge fails again. I'm gonna have to give this hippo away. Oh, it's so huge. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Look at this beauty of a situation. Everything is so soft because a lot of it is scraps from this and scraps from my streamers, other cotton scraps and silk scraps, and just, I mean, just so much joy and beauty. I did buy a few balls of yarn for this from Brighton, some tiny little sheep cheese cotton, because I ran out of white and I needed more, because I was like, the white is really what brings it together. Like, without this white connecting it, it would be like a whole situation. I don't know, I probably should have done something different with the ears here, because they're all the same color across the front. It's almost like she's got a little, I don't know, a little headband on or something. Whee! But she's just the most gorgeous. Look at her little bum hole. She's just the most gorgeous hippo that you've ever seen, isn't she? I mean, she's the most gorgeous hippo I've ever... Look, there's matching ones. Well, not quite, but close. So beautiful. But yeah, we're currently deciding which child is going to benefit from the beauty of this hippo, because it can't stay with us. It's too big, as much as we love it. This was so much fun to make, and in the end, I stuffed it with a pillow, a really flat pillow we didn't use anymore, and actually just pulling it apart made it so much bigger, because Holly was like, there's no way that pillow is all that you're gonna need to stuff that giant thing. But I actually used the pillow lining, and it pretty much took me to about here, from the bum till here. I just stuffed the pillow case, as it were. The legs are stuffed without any lining, but I sort of quickly realized how loose this is. It needed some lining. So yeah, most of it is lined with just the pillowcase. I didn't do anything. I knew it wouldn't go into the legs, so I stuffed the legs, and then I put the pillowcase thing in, and then I stuffed it, and it got me to about here. I think the pillow stops there, and then there's just the stuffing. So yeah, this is my happy hippo. And we went back and forth with eyes. I even crocheted some eyes, but I just think that the center of the flower is all that's really needed. I didn't want to put anything hard in case I gave it to my friend who has very small babies, just for the sake of hard things being less baby friendly. And I think because my crochet is just so loose in this situation, I had to fasten the ears so they would stay up. Otherwise they flopped down to the side, which I didn't think was quite as cute. So I just attached them when I sewed them in. They're kind of supposed to sit up like this, but like that. But yeah, this was the best I could do, because otherwise it was boop all the way down here. So yeah, this is my hippo. I'm so proud of it. But yeah, she can join us for the rest of the podcast. But sadly, she's too big for a boat. I was not going to do this upstairs because it's way too hot right now. So I hope that the lighting is okay. So whips, more whips for you. I will quickly show you where I'm at with my Augustines. I don't think I've gotten particularly far since I last podcasted, but maybe I have. I forgot to put a little marker. But yeah, this was kind of a surprise cast on. I was surprised that I started this, but I've been wanting this exact thing in this yarn for ages. I just haven't bothered to like cast it on. Weirdly, I do that when I choose a yarn, choose a pattern, get it all in a bag ready to go. Then I sort of am like, okay, I'm done with that. And I never cast it on somehow. So yeah, I think there's 6 increase rounds, and I'm leaving a marker every increase round because for me I think it's 18 rows that I need to increase. And I think I'm playing yarn chicken with my mohair, but I have done some calculations and I think I will be okay. But I'm still sort of trying to make sure that if I do a little bit too many rounds before I do another increase, I'm like, that's okay, it saves yarn. I don't want to increase too early. So yeah, that's where we're at. I think it's about, longer than my shorts. But yeah, it's definitely on hold in this weather because it is way too hot to be doing double mohair shenanigans. I found a project bag. Empty project bag, that's a good thing. This is in my Beaches and Bushes. This is a little knitting club bag, which I got, where did I get it? I think I got it in a yarn shop in Canada. It's very cute. I love how long the arms are. So, more whips. Getting out my whip basket. I think I have finally entered into my sock mojo again. So the first pair of socks that I started working on since like my mojo sort of died was with the leftovers of this yarn that I made the top in. And look at this. There's no repeating there. None at all. It's just all random. So this is like quite cool yarn in my opinion. It looks like just total... I mean, I can't see it repeat. Maybe you can. But it's pretty cool. So we went to Amsterdam last weekend, and I have some treats to show you. And I did, in the weekend, I cast on, when we got on the plane, it's all I brought was this one ball of 50 grams of sock yarn, basically. And I cast on the plane, and I made a very long sock tube. I finished the whole sock tube on the like train home from the airport on the way home. So we went to Amsterdam on a Saturday morning and we came home on a Sunday night. So in 2 days I made a 50-gram sock tube, but I was knitting pretty much the whole time. Walking around, getting the train to and from, and we went to and then basically like on my commute I did the heels and toes. I still need to do the cuff, and then these will be finished. I'll tell you about the yarn that I did the heels and toes with when I talk about what I got in Amsterdam. But yeah, these are pretty cool. I'll show you, they're a little bit loose. I did 56 or 54. I think I did 56 stitches. I think that's kind of my go-to. Maybe it was 54. 56. I did 56 stitches on 2mm needles, and that's how loose these suckers are. Yeah, so they're fine. They're a little bit loose. I think I do need a little bit of a cuff here, just a tiny bit. Like it's already pretty long, so I don't think I need too much, but I need some cuff, I think. I'll show you the other one. I wouldn't have been able to do this yesterday, it was so hot, but today it's cooled down a little bit, so I can put on wool socks and not be dead. But yeah, they're pretty loose. That's 56 stitches on 2mm needle, folks. I mean, yeah, I'm just a ridiculous human, basically. Like, does that look like I knit that on a 2mm? That looks like a... I don't know. I just have an insane gauge. So yeah, I probably should have done 54 instead of 56, but hey ho. One thing I realized was doing the afterthought heel. This one I took away the... When I unraveled the 2 stitches that I was going to start knitting again. I unraveled the connection between those two. And then I basically then had to sort of try and fix the hole. And then in the second one, I just didn't... If that makes any sense. This would only make sense if you've done an afterthought heel before. But like, I didn't unravel all the way. And then I didn't have a hole. So that was a handy thing that I learned. So yeah, I did the heels exactly the same as I did the toes. I went until, I think it was 12 stitches. And then I did grafted it together, and same with the toes. So they're the same. Yeah, I really stupidly, these are different lengths, because I counted them, the sock tube, the total sock tube, and I was like, okay, it's this much, so I have to do half that. And then I just didn't do half that. And I was like, perfect. It was like something, because I had counted it in 20s, and then there was like an extra 6 stitches or something at the end. So I was like, okay, I need to do X number plus 3 on each side. And I just didn't do the plus 3. So one side has 6 more than the other side in rows. And I'm like, okay, fine. One of my feet is bigger than the other, so... And I actually think I did the first sock, and it was a little bit tight on me, this one. And so then I made the second sock, I made the heel a little bit further back. So these are definitely left and right socks. I need to like mark it with a little stitch or something so I know. Because my right foot is smaller than my left foot. And put this on the right and this on the left, they fit perfect. But do it the other way around and this one's a little bit tight. So yeah. I should mark that. But yeah, they are very imperfect and not quite finished. And that is, I love this as well. It's like perfectly matching my bag that Lisa made me a couple years ago, which is now in use now that I've finished that pestering clutch. I've been using this bag all the time because this used to hold my honey clutch, which I'd never worked on. So it was basically like relegated to nothingness for a while. But now it's back in full use and I really love it. So what else do we have? Haven't worked on that sock. This is a sock that's still waiting. I don't know why, for some reason I've been keeping a load of labels. I should just throw them away. I don't know why I have all these yarn labels. Yeah. Loads of yarn labels in here. I think my idea was like in my stash down, I was gonna like keep the labels, but I'm not organized enough to do that. I can keep track of it. I can't keep them. So Okay, so that was one whip. It's almost there. Oh my goodness, what is in all of these things? What is all of this? Why do I have so many whip bags? I don't know. Okay, let's see. What's in here? Okay, this is my Coffee Talk sock, which I actually had to steal the needle off in order to make those socks in Amsterdam, because basically I'm now terrified of bringing small metal needles on the plane. And these were my only pair. I have a pair of Chaogu bamboo small circulars in a size 2 mil. And they're the only ones I have. So they had to come off this sock. I do really want to finish this because I love working with this yarn. And the pattern isn't that difficult. I need to just get back to doing it. But now it doesn't have a needle, which makes it even less likely. So yeah, that hasn't had any work. What else is in here? Oh, so this is a bunch of sock projects that I am planning on doing. So I have some yarn planned out. I just bought the Summerlee set of the wide rib sock set. So I'm going to make some shorties with these two. I think they're going to be shorties for Holly. This is some lovely gifted yarn, and then this is just some leftover Arwetta. So that's in a project bag, ready to go when I feel like doing them. I also bought the Wimbledon socks, which look so cool. They're like color blocked socks. And I'm going to make Holly a pair with these colors. And then I'm also going to make a pair of the Wimbledon socks with these colors. Oop, it's hard to see them all. These colors. This is linen. It's superwash wool with linen in it for strength. And then this is Arwetta, and then that's Malabrigo lace weight single, which I'm not going to use for any portion that's under the foot. This is going to be like stripes around the cuff. So obviously, and held double, I think. So that's ready to get started when I feel like doing that. That's why it's so full. There's a bunch of like to start sock projects in there. And then another sock project that I have on the go that I've recently started, I'm so excited about. So the first wide rib sock. I'm making one for Holly, and she's doing I think there's three different versions. There's like a shorty with like broken rib, and then there's like 2 different varieties of like 4x4 rib sock patterns, and then there's a super ultra wide sock pattern, and that's what I'm doing here for Holly. And actually I did the cast on a little bit tight, so it only just goes over her heel diagonal. But yeah, this, I have to say, so this yarn, this is Rico Design super fancy soft Rico Design Superba Cashmere luxury socks. Definitely feels like superwash. It doesn't say. It's 65% virgin wool, 25% polyamide, 10% cashmere. And people usually say if it's 10% or less that you don't feel it. But I don't know if I'm feeling the wool or the cashmere, but I'm feeling something, because there is a distinct difference in softness between the Arwetta at the top here and this absolutely buttery soft wool here. So yeah, Holly picked out the colors for it, and I forgot to do the thing when I changed color there, so that's a little feature I added in there, little pearl pump feature. So yeah, these are really lovely to knit on, but at the moment I've had to put them on hold because they are wool, and I need to not be making wool things right now because it's so hot. So that's another pair of socks I have on the go now. And let me get you my current project bag to show you my like current in-work whips. So here's my current project bag. I've been working, commuting to and from Richmond, so I've been using my Tribe Yarns bag, which I got for my birthday. And I have two projects in here. This is a project bag that I made. And so here's the other Summerly pattern that I'm working on right now. I got this wool in Oregon a year ago, and I immediately balled it up, but then proceeded never to use it. So I like hand wound it while on a hike. I remember hand winding it on a hike, which was silly. And I've, long lost the label, but it's cotton and elastic. It's like very elasticated. I think it has some viscose. It feels like it has some viscose in it as well. But I'll show you how elastic this yarn is. Here we go, like loose, taut, and I guess it's not like it's pretty elastic. For cotton, that's very elastic. So, perfect for socks, I thought. So here are my socks. This is the 4x4 striped pattern from Summerly. It's quite splitty, this yarn. Like you can see all the little pieces it's already in. But I tend not to find much difficulty with splitty yarns. But if you do, I might, hazard you. But I can't hazard you anyway because I can't remember what this is called. So don't even worry about it. I can't warn you about it if I don't know what the yarn is. But I got it in Oregon, in a yarn shop in, like, I think either Redmond or Sisters. So pretty obscure anyways. So just don't worry about it. I'm doing the correct thing that you're meant to do with the pearls this time, which is you do a knit row every time you change colors so that you don't get those pearl bumps in the different colors. And I'm really loving how this is turning out. I'm gonna do these stripes every time, like the whole way down, not just on the cuff. So yeah, I'm hoping to make these pretty long socks, and I'm really, really loving them. I'm doing them on ChowGoo's 2.25s because that's what the pattern called for, and I was like, sure, let's do it. 2 mil is really my go-to because of my gauge, but I do quite often use a 2.25. If I go 2.5, things are gonna get wild. I think for DK, I generally do 2.75 or 2.5. But we don't go 3 for DK socks because they're going to be way too loose. Here's my last project. This is my next crochet animal. So I got these tubes of cotton from Holly for my birthday from Tiger. They look like this. They come in these balls, and I got, I think, 4 of them. I think 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I got. They come with 5 yarn balls in a tube. And I thought I had 15 balls of wool, so I must have only got 3 of these tubes, but I certainly have more than 3 of these tubes. So now I'm a little bit confused. Maybe I got 4 of these tubes and I got 18 balls of wool here. That's not the right math. I don't know what is happening. But anyway, these are these tiger balls of cotton, and I'm using a 2 mil crochet hook. I think the pattern says to use 1.75, but my pack that I bought on Amazon doesn't come with a 1.75. And yeah, I've made 4 of these African flower motifs so far. This little friend was done on a 5 mil. And actually, when I realized how loose my gauge was, I changed to a 4.5, and my mom kept doing it on a 5. This is a 2 mil. And the cotton's a little bit different. Like, this cotton is thicker, for sure, than that one was. But yeah, look at these little motifs. They're so pretty. I can't decide which color combo I like best. They're all so good. And these tubes kind of come with 3 different colors, like the light, the dark, and the medium green. And then they come with basically 2 balls that look like this color. So I was like, perfect. That means that this can be the like joining one because you'll use more of it, and then these will be the middle ones. So yeah, it's much stiffer. Like, I could see this being like an ear that would just stay, you know, look at that. It's just not moving. So yeah, I've so far in one tube, I've done 4 and almost a 5th of the motifs. And it's gonna be a turtle. I really love these flower motifs. I think they're gorgeous. Also, my little set I got on Amazon came with one of these things, and I don't know if you have one of these, but if you crochet, you're constantly breaking your yarn. And for a toy, it's great because you don't have to worry about ever sewing anything in, because it's all just going to be on the inside. That's fine. And with this kind of fabric as well, like, it's not going to peek through, hopefully. But anyways, it's great because you just go, and then you just, and it comes off, and you don't have to like get the scissors out. First world problems, right? Get the scissors out. So yeah, I'm really having a nice time with this and enjoying it. And I do have to say though, all these tiny balls of yarn really upped the yarn count. So yeah, this is really fun. Enjoying using my little project bag. And these socks have been really nice for just easy knitting, and they're cotton, so they're not hot. So yeah, I've got like tons of socks going now, and I'm hoping that my sock mojo is just like roaring back into coming back into full swing. I think my next like garment cast on is either going to be something with my neon linen that I got for my birthday, or it's going to be my coloring block tee, or my Anchor summer tee. One of those 3 be my next garment. But I do have the skirt as kind of like a bigger garmenty situation. But yeah, I'm enjoying my little projects for now. So I think that takes us to stash busting. Oh, it does take us to stash busting and telling you what I got at Stephen and Penelope. So, oh, and telling you what I got for my birthday. I didn't show you my birthday stuff. Well, then we'll have to go upstairs for the birthday haul, because that's where it is, and the stash busting situation. To be continued. Okay, so I didn't realize that I hadn't done a podcast since our last since my birthday. So I have a lot of haul to show you, actually. So it's my birthday at the end of May, and I guess the last podcast was like the 18th of May? Yeah. So you haven't seen my birthday haul. So yeah, I'll tell you about that first, and then I'll give you my stash breakdown. So Holly got me some fabulous things, and also my mom was here to visit, and we went to, you might not have even seen the things that I got in Brighton, and I've like bought them and then used them. So anyways, you've already seen them. One of the things my mum got me was this book in Brighton. It's called Hip to be Square by Katie Jones, because we worked on the Hippo together a little bit, and I mean, look at these things. There are some really cool projects in here, and it shows you all the techniques, shows you like the basics of crochet, it shows you like exactly how to do different squares, but like even like very basic, like what is a single crochet, a double crochet. It shows like how to hold the crochet hook. So this is like, you don't know anything about crochet, you want this book. It's beautiful. I mean, look at this. It talks about tools. I mean, it's perfect for me. Look at that. So many of the pictures are just absolutely stunning. It's such a fun thing. So like, I this morning just spent like 20 minutes and I made my first granny square. Here it is. And I made this block square, and I'm having so much fun learning how to do these things. I actually think the block square is really cool looking. I wasn't expecting it to be so cool looking. I like it with the sort of slightly marled yarn going with it. I'm about to try the spot square. So yeah, they have like all the squares in it, and then there are patterns that look so much fun. It tells you how to join, how to do edgings. I mean, I'm just excited to go through everything here. Shaping. I'm just gonna go through the whole thing, but here's some of the patterns. I mean, I think there's maybe one pattern in here I don't want to make. This is pretty cool. Polka dots. I think it's like the same pattern, these two. There's a bucket hat. The quilt cardigan is so cool. Look at that. That's what's on the front as well. Looks like a very chunky yarn there. Yeah, I think this might be the one I don't want to make, because it's a little bit of a poncho situation. But, you know, I could maybe make it for someone. I mean, look at this blanket. Is there a better picture that I can show you? No. It's kind of on the... Look at that blanket. How cool is that blanket? I really want to try this collar. I mean, yes! Look at this little pouch bag. Yes. Yes, please. I mean, look at these cushions. I think these little test squares are going to turn into a cushion. I'm hoping. Depends on the style decisions of the wife. I mean, look at that. That's some cool stuff right there. I'm not so sure about this tie back situation. I'm not into the ties at the back, but you can always just seam it up, can't you? Love this vest. I want to make this so bad. Look how cute that is. There it is in black. There's a fun scarf, another, like a beret. This, I mean, yes. Cute. There's like a big graphic grid blanket. There's a tote bag. I mean, there's so much to be discovered in this book. I'm really, really, really enjoying it. But for now, I'm working on these different squares, learning how to do them, which is really fun. I think it gives you patterns for like 5 or 6 different squares in it. But yeah, hip to be square. And then for my birthday, Holly got me the second volume of 52 Weeks of Socks. This has a lot of really cool stuff in it. There's some Summer Lee, because we all love Summer Lee. There's a lot of really nice color work situations, some really interesting construction. This one's like crazy interesting construction. I think it's knit that way. Basically everything on here looks really cool. I like, there's a, oh, I just passed it. There's like a mullet sock. Business at the front, party at the back, which I enjoy. Yeah. So there's the back. Party at the back. And then there's the front. Business at the front. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool. Oh my goodness, I am so excited about this one. Look at that. Yeah. So basically, lots more socks to play with. These ones are really cool too. But yeah. So Holly does love a book, and she knows that I love these, so she was obviously gonna buy me this. Because now I have the set, so now if they keep coming out with more, she's gonna like feel forced to buy them for me. And then she also got me, basically a while ago I made like a cart at Tribe Yarns, and then I just never bought it, which is what I do a lot of the time, you know, make carts. I'm sure you all feel that. And so she just remembered what was in my cart and just bought it for me anyway for my birthday. So here's the first thing. This is from River Knits, which I absolutely adore. I bought some of their sock yarn for a knit along, and they live on a boat, and in the canals, and the yarn is just so soft. So this is 100% British Blueface Leicester, spun and hand dyed in the UK, 80 meters per 20 gram skein. And there are, I think it was 12 skeins. Yeah, it's called Sherbet Rainbow, and there's the wheel. We've got like this pink, and then into a peach, and orangey, yellowy, greeny, green, blue, purple, and purple. And they're just absolutely stunning, all of them. I love them. And I'm really excited. I think I'm gonna pair this with something black. Oh, this is maybe the wrong way. I think I'm gonna pair this with black and make a jumper of some kind, but I haven't decided yet what I'm gonna do. But yeah, it's beautiful. For now, it's a decoration on my on my new little yarn wall. But yeah, River Knits, if you ever get a chance to get something from them, their yarn is so soft and wonderful. I sadly felted a pair of socks that I made with their yarn, but I have enough to make another pair, so I will at some point do that. Then she got me this, which we looked at in the store and I almost bought, and then I didn't, and then this is Lithuanian linen, which is a big producer of linen. I know when I was working in Lithuania, I got some linen products there. It's heavy lace, light fingering, 450 meters for 100 grams. And this is color 1 and color 6, I think. I think it's a Tribe Yarns brand thing. So I think they make it. I'm not sure if they dye it. But yeah, basically neon yellow and neon pink. So any suggestions for a summer top to make with this would be greatly appreciated, because that is one of the options for my next garment. Something with these guys. I love linen. I have one linen top, which is probably my most worn summer garment, so I'd love to have another. And then, yes, I was right. I had 4 of these. 4 times 5 is not 15, it's 20. So Naomi did some bad math there. Sorry about that. So yeah, these are from Tiger. They're these little balls. I don't even know if they say how many. 10 grams each of cotton, and it's about 25 meters each. This recommends this 2 mil needle, which is interesting. So yeah, these are the 2 colors of that I think are basically the same. So they're the joining colors, and then these 3 colors are like the squares. So yeah, we'll see how many I get out of one tube, and that will determine what happens in future for this guy. So then we went to Stephen and Penelope last weekend, and I got a print, which is really beautiful, and actually Holly really liked it. She was like, we need this. And I think she just really loves the visual. I haven't actually opened it and looked at it. I looked at it in the store, obviously, but here it is. Hibernitting. It is beautiful. A West Knits collectible. Designed by Malia May Joseph, 2020. Gorgeous. So yeah, it's like screen printed on this really nice paper. I'll keep it in its wrapping for now, I think, until we find a place to put it on the boat. It was funny because we were talking like, oh, we really like it, but I was like, oh, but we don't really have space. And the woman at West Knits was like, oh, don't worry, you can put stuff inside it and that'll make it take up less space. And I was like, and then I realized, oh, she's used to people like having problems with space in their luggage. I'm like, no, we live on a boat. I mean space like in my home. We don't have wall space. Yeah, there's not much wall space on a boat because a lot of the walls go like this. So it's hard to hang pictures. You have to get those like super sticky things to like keep the frame on the wall. And even then, sometimes those super sticky things don't really work. So let me show you the other thing I got in Stephen and Penelope. I thought I brought up the other thing as well. Don't see it here. So the yarn, I got some nettle sock yarn, and that's what you saw downstairs on my socks, in that like greeny color. nettle sock. It is 70% wool and 30% nettle fibers, which is makes it good for socks, I guess. So yeah, that's on my heels and toes and gonna be on a little bit of the cuff. And that is also superwash wool. So I got a ball of that because I was like, I'm gonna finish this sock tube and I'm gonna need the heel and cuff yarn. And I only really barely needed it because I think the last bit of the tube ride back from the airport, I did start on the toe, but it was like I was pushing to make it so that I needed to start it. I really didn't need to buy that. I could have waited till I got home and got some yarn out to do, but never mind. It was a fun challenge and I did just barely make it. This is the last thing I got at Steve & West. Well, not the last thing. I got some stitch markers, and I thought I brought them up here, but I don't see them. So that makes me, like, worried that I've, like, lost them. Because they're so beautiful. They'll turn up somewhere. But I got this wool to make the akemi. I just really loved the color of this, and I thought about it, and I was like, I don't need more wool. Don't need another sweater's quantity. But this is Steve & West wool. It's called Bicycle. It's 10% Texel wool, which is a Dutch sheep breed, and then 90% Falkland Merino. And I believe it's non-superwash, and the color is Beatrix, I think, batch 7. I just loved this color, and it reminded me of the akemi, and that I really want to make the akemi. And I've looked at the wool that the akemi is made to be done in, and it's really expensive to get enough to make the jumper. And I don't know. I love the color, but I'm not sure about the wool. This wool seems like a yes to me. So I got more than I need, because this is actually obviously not the right weight for the akemi. It's supposed to be DK. This is more of a sport. It's 350 meters per 100 grams. So it's like thicker than a fingering, but more fingering-ish. But I tend to find that for my gauge, going down in yarn size helps me get the right gauge, rather than going down in needle size, weirdly. So I probably would have gotten away with 3, but I got 4 just to be safe, which is also new for me. But I'm really happy I did. And it was on super sale, so it's normally, I think, 24 euros a ball. This was 10 euros a ball. So I got a jumper for 40 euros, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's my haul, apart from the stitch markers, which I really hope I didn't lose literally walking up the stairs. And now let's have a look at my... I love I've got a tax paper in here, in my knitting journal. That's probably not a safe place for it. Anyway. So let's have a look at the stash situation. We finished May, and in May my goal was to finish my streamers, finish my Franklin T tank, finish my Ripple bralette, finish my Moon Crush, and finish my Hippo, and I did all of those things. Well, not in May, maybe. So when we last saw each other, I had 225 balls of wool. I then got, so this was in Brighton, I got 5 sheep sheaves little cotton things for the Hippo, 3 whites, 1 green, and 1 pink, to finish the Hippo. So then I got rid of 5 balls of wool, just some scraps that I wasn't using, and I got rid of some linen that I'd already made a top in. And I don't feel like I want 2 tops in that color, that silvery color. Then I finished 1 ball of cotton, so that brought me down from 225 to 224. Then I finished another ball of cotton from the Hippo. So then I was down to 223. And then I actually finished plying 2 balls of wool for my blanket, which I have actually worked on a little bit. I'm not going to get it out to show you. I'll get out the bag and show you, but the blanket is so heavy and so wool. But it's this blanket, and I ended up having to get rid of all the rest of the wool for spinning for 2 reasons. One, I was gonna have to wash this again before I give it away now. This is why I don't like this top. One, I was getting really bored of spinning merino top, and 2, it had moth poop in it. Didn't have any more moth larvae, but it had moth poop, and I was just like, I just can't. So I got rid of it all, but I kept the single plies, and I've finished plying them, and I'm going to finish knitting what I have of that, and then that will be the blanket. I think it's going to be about that long, maybe. It's going to be about that wide, and like about that long, and like a normal width. So it's basically like a runner, a bed runner. So anyways, that's 2 balls of wool I added that I spun. Then I got rid of 2 balls of wool that I didn't want, so that kept me neutral. I finished 2 balls of wool on my skirt, 2 balls of the mohair. That took me down from 223 to 221. Then I finished another ball of wool on the Hippo, because they were tiny little balls of cotton. So I was down to 220, and then chaos ensued, which I'm actually going to have to adjust because I did not get the right amount for the cotton. I got 12 balls from the Sherbet Rainbow, 2 balls of Lithuanian linen, and 15 balls, which is not true. Actually, I got 20 balls of tiger cotton, but at the time I thought it was 15 for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm just bad math. So that was a total of 29 balls of wool added to my stash. So I got rid of, when I finished my Hippo, I got rid of all the balls of wool that I hadn't used. So that was 8 balls of wool. Then I got rid of 4 more balls of wool from my stash. They were mostly like scraps. There was 1 little scrap of hand spun, 4 balls of that, 3 balls of Trubu that again, the color I wasn't loving, 6 balls of scrap mohair, which I was saving for whatever, and then I was like, fine, I'll just get rid of them. 5 balls of sock wool. Some of them were the bamboo stuff that I was obsessed with last year, and I just don't love the colors of now. So that was 8 and 4, 3 and 6. 4 and 6 is 10, 18, 19, 20, 21, plus 5 is 26. So I needed 29. So that was 26. So actually, I added 3. So I went from 220 to 223. Then I went to West Wool, and I got a ball of the onion sock wool and 4 balls of the bicycle. So that took me up to 228. So then when I got back from Amsterdam, I was like, now, time to get serious. I got rid of 4 balls of Shetland leftovers that I wasn't loving the color of, 1 ball of cashmere that I didn't love the color of that I'd like taken out of a jumper, and 3 scraps of Arwetta. Actually, no, they weren't all scraps. Some of them were full balls of Arwetta that I didn't need for the Welcome to the Jungle, like a full ball. So that was 8 that I got rid of. So that took me back down to 220, which is where I was before my birthday. However, because of the incorrect math, I'm actually at 225. So I need to go and find 5 balls of wool that I don't want anymore. Because then I got rid of the 1 ball of the multicolored sock yarn from Brighton. I finished that whole ball. And then 1 more ball of the white cotton for the Hippo. So that's me at 218. I've been doing a really good job of doing that. Basically, I'm enjoying watching myself actually lower the total number, and I'm enjoying sometimes buying wool or getting wool. So I'm just making that, both of those enjoyments feed into each other by making sure that every time I get some new wool, I get rid of some old wool that I don't want. And I think that Arwetta is like a good example of that, because it's like I can get more if I need it later. It's just Arwetta. Like, I don't need to save it. It doesn't need to be sitting there. It can be, but it also doesn't need to be. Both are totally valid choices and options, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna go off and find 5 balls of wool I don't want anymore, and then I'm gonna carry on with my day. I hope you're having a lovely day, and I hope you're having a great hair day today. You know, I feel like my hair is kind of all over the place, but I'm really feeling it. So I feel like that's my wish for you. I hope that today or someday soon you have a great hair day. And if not, I hope you are enjoying your craft. And I will speak to you soon. See you later. Also, if you don't mind, please do drop a comment telling me what you think I should do with my neon linen. And also, feel free to subscribe and like, pass it on, you know, get other people watching. I don't really know what the point of getting other people to watch is, other than to make my ego feel fantastic. Really. Right? Unless there's some intrinsic benefit to watching my YouTube channel about knitting, in which case it's beneficial to those people that get to benefit from my channel. But I feel like that is also quite egotistical. So, you know, pass it on, you know, give it a like, give it a subscribe. All of those things are great. Probably won't say this in the end, I'll delete it, don't worry. Bye!